What? Hang on. I'm receiving word. Everyone in the NBA has been traded. That's okay. That's going to have to change some of our numbers. After we record this podcast in the afternoon, James Harden was traded by the Houston Rockets. Here are the details as we know them right now. And I have to pull up a file because that's how long it is. The Nets get James Harden. The Cavs get Jarrett Allen and Taurean Prince. The Pacers get Karis LeVert. The Rockets get Victor Oladipo, Dante Exum, Rodions Kurucs, 4 first-round picks, and 4 draft swaps. Because obviously, nothing's ever gone wrong when the Nets over-leverage themselves in the draft. All right, guys, there's a million angles to take on this. Let's start with Brooklyn, okay? Brooklyn moved significantly in the market after this trade. They are now minus 155 to win the Atlantic Division. When we go to their championship odds, they've moved to plus 270, right behind the Lakers at plus 260. The Nets are the odds-on favorite to win the Eastern Conference at plus 120. The Bucks now move to plus 350. Brandon, let's start with you. For the Nets, what's your reaction?
I love it for the Nets. I feel like you got to do it. It's James Harden. I know that the reaction here is, how are they going to defend? How are they going to get rebounds? They just traded Jarrett Allen. Jarrett Allen is nice. Allen's nice. He's a nice center. You don't not trade Jarrett Allen if James Harden is the prize. You basically upgrade LeVert to James Harden here. Duh, no brainer. The cost is Jarrett Allen. In the playoffs, I want Kevin Durant at center anyways. I also like Jeff Green on this team. I can't believe I like Jeff Green as a sentence I just said, but he was good as a small ball 5 last year with James Harden, and I think that he could fill in some of those minutes. Look, the Nets were not good at defense. They weren't good at rebounding. Jarrett Allen wasn't fixing that anyway, so that can't be the reason not to do this. I don't buy the thing about, well, there's only one basketball. How are they going to play? You know who's not on our Olympics team? Karis LeVert and Jarrett Allen. We put our best players out there, and they do just fine. So if you get Harden, Harden is 31, Kyrie's 28, Durant is 32. This is the window. I don't know that I'm all in on the Nets, but if you liked the Nets before, you should like them more now, because they have the same flaws, but they're better at the good stuff, and it's going to be a really hard team to defend. Durant at the 5, put Harris and Shamet or other shooters out there. It's going to be tough. I like it.
Okay, I think you're insane. And here's why.
I do too.
For starters, look at the Eastern Conference. They're going to have to go through Joel Embiid. They're going to have to go through Domas Sabonis and Miles Turner. You can't be playing KD versus Joel Embiid. That's not an option. A lot of the time, also, KD's not going to want to play 5. He's not going to want to play 5. And if he doesn't want to play 5, then guess what? You got a lot of DeAndre Jordan minutes. This is part of this, is that they cleared out Jarrett Allen to get their buddy DeAndre Jordan more minutes. That's bad for Brooklyn. When I looked at the remaining roster, they still do have a lot of guys. Brown's playing so well. He played really well in that Nuggets game. You can talk yourself into this. Joe Harris, they're undersized. They're trying to just score. I just feel like a lot of their stability gets messed up here. It depends on how much the bench units are going to roll out. Overall, there's a lot of star power and they can score. But when we compare this to the last big 3, the triad in Miami with Bosh and Wade and LeBron, all 3 of those guys could defend. All 3 of those guys could pass. All 3 of those guys could score. You do not have that here. That is not what you have. Raheem, what's your take?
It's extremely redundant. And I think they're lacking bodies on a team where one of their star players is erratic and capable of anything. He was on a Zoom call last night while the rest of his team was playing basketball. This team has no wings. Their second best wing is Jeff Green. I just don't understand, what they were trying to accomplish with this trade. I think you get scoring, but who plays on ball? Who plays off ball? I think Harden is the best playmaker of the bunch, but is Kyrie going to be happy with playing off ball? Is Harden going to be happy with playing off ball? I just think you created more problems than actually solved any problems here. Solved any issues here. And I don't really like it. I'm gonna be honest.
Do we think that there's value on anybody else in the Eastern Conference? Like, does this make Milwaukee more valuable moving to plus 350?
That's what caught my attention. I was already looking at Milwaukee. I feel like they're playing well. Their offense is on fire. The defense is getting better. I was already looking for an opportunity to bet the Bucks, and this is the opportunity, I think, because now the odds just flipped. Like basically Brooklyn became the team to beat, and everyone's going to overlook Milwaukee. So this is the spot. If you've been waiting on the Bucks, if you believe in the team, either to win the East or to win the finals, this is the spot because this is where their odds just dropped, and I think there's value on them now more than the Nets.
So for me, I think one of the big takeaways, shifting away from the Nets, this is going to be a source of, I think, contention amongst our group because Brian Mears popped into our Slack and was like, I want to get Mavericks division odds. After this move, Southwest division odds, Mavericks moved to minus 175. The Rockets have dropped to plus 1,600. John Wall, Victor Oladipo, Christian Wood, DeMarcus Cousins, PJ Tucker, Eric Gordon, Daniel House, other guys, Dante Exum. Like, I think I'm gonna bet the Rockets to win the division. I think I'm gonna, like, 1,600 is really good value here. Like, this team is not bad. Like, they're just not. They got off to a rough start because half their guys were out. They lost twice to the Lakers because the Lakers are the best team in the league. Raheem, am I crazy here? I think there's value on Houston.
I don't think you're crazy. Like, I don't think you're crazy at all. Like, I'm not mad at it at all. I still think the Mavericks are, the team to beat, but at 175, I can't be mad at laying that price.
No.
On the Mavericks, but at the same time, the 1,600 is. I'm not mad at it. I'm not taking it, but I'm not mad at it.
Like Pelicans, nope, can't score. Lonzo Ball's regressed. Zion Williamson's going to be out for a little bit with COVID stuff. Grizzlies, no Jaren Jackson, still no Justice Winslow, no John Morant for a while. Spurs, LaMarcus Aldridge is a thing. Like, it's really just Mavericks and Rockets, and I'm getting 16-1. Yeah, I'm gonna get in on that. Let's go Pacers. They lose Oladipo. A league source I was texting with told me that they've been hard shopping to get off of him for months. That he still wanted out. He was unhappy. The injury stuff was a problem. They were building around Brogdon and Sabonis. That's their team. And LeVert gives them a guy that wanted a bigger role, which he'll have. Replaces some of Oladipo, replaces a little bit of what they lost with TJ Warren. I think this is a really good move for the Pacers, even if I liked Oladipo's ceiling a lot more. I don't think that this moves anything in terms of the odds because I can't get into the idea of the Pacers winning the division. I've thought about it, but I can't talk myself into it. Brandon, this is Midwest, your neck of the woods. Thoughts on the Pacers?
Yeah, I mean, I love it for the Pacers for a lot of the reasons you said. I can't think of what the betting angle is either for the same reason. Like,
right.
There's a ceiling on the team. I know the Pacers are not going to win the East now. That they always were a team that could win a round and then be a tough second round out. That's basically what they are now. But if you look at the numbers this year between Oladipo and LeVert, they're pretty close to identical. Their shooting numbers are similar. I think Oladipo, we had this one great year, and it's been a minute. Like, it's been a while since we've seen that Oladipo. I don't know that ceiling is there anymore. It definitely wasn't on the Pacers. It maybe can get there on the Rockets or what other team they trade him to get off even more money in a few months, because it's definitely happening. But as for the Pacers, we got LeVert is 2 years younger. Sorry, he's a couple years younger. He's 2 inches taller. He's signed 2 extra years. He's on a very palatable contract. This is what the Pacers do. They got TJ Warren last year when the Suns didn't want him on a nice contract. They're going to have just a bunch of good players. Warren will be back too. They're going to have 5 good starters. That's a good, tough team. No one wants to play Indiana in the playoffs. They're going to beat them, probably. The really good teams are. But I thought before this, the Pacers had a shot at maybe a 2 or 3 seed if things broke right. I think that's still true, but you can't bet that. they're not going to win the division because the Bucks are in the division. So unless Giannis gets hurt, that's out. They already were good bet on the over. We gave you that one when we did our over-unders early in the year. I don't know what the angle is here. Maybe the angle is the first round matchup, whoever they get. I like it for them a lot. I just don't know. It pushes the ceiling a little better, and it helps them long term. I like where it pushes the team the next couple of years. It's a good move. I'm not sure it moves the needle from a betting standpoint.
It also saves them some money, which I'm sure Irv
Yeah.
Simon is grateful for.
I think
Good.
For me, I didn't want to give Oladipo the max. Like, I think after his knee injury, he hasn't been the same player. Like, I think I don't understand why Houston actually wanted to go after him, because they're going to have to max him this summer. And to me, I would rather have Karis LeVert if I'm the Rockets, based on what I've seen from Oladipo these last 2 seasons.
I think they wanted to take a shot on him. You know, they wanted a young asset. They wanted a star player, which is Oladipo. I guess the shot is Karutz or Exum, and then the picks are the biggest thing. They get back some of the draft stock that they gave up in the Westbrook deal, which is like, that's an important thing to keep in mind as these conversations continue, is that everyone will be like, look at how much draft picks they got. Okay, but they gave up a majillion in the Westbrook trade.
Right.
So like they're out of the hole, but
Right.
it's still going to be, I think, a little bit touch and go. The
And
other thing
these
is
there are fake picks in here too, because one of these picks is a Milwaukee first. That's going to be bottom 5 pick.
Yeah.
We've got Brooklyn picks are going to be not good. These next 2 picks, one of the swaps is not going to happen because Brooklyn will still be good. So we know now 2024, 2026, that's valuable.
Hang
probably.
on. Hang on. Just so you don't get old takes exposed, let's not say the Nets picks are not going to be good, because that was the plan last time.
Yeah, sure, that was the plan last time, but that was with like 37-year-old dudes.
Okay. 37-year-old Kevin Garnett, who plays every night. Kyrie Irving.
Fair.
And we have a guy coming off an Achilles tear, and we have an older Harden who's, like, shouldered a major load for Houston. Like, these guys could fall off any second.
He's shouldering more than that load in Houston. So, here's the other thing. I put in a Kevin Durant MVP bet second night of the season.
RIP.
That one's over. We agree on that. Like, that KD's probably going to be off because the sheer numbers aren't going to be there, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this probably shifts value back to LeBron, Giannis. I don't know what to think of Luka right now. AD, Jokic.
Yeah.
So some of that value is going to have to get redistributed, because I don't think KD has as much value right now. I'm going to look up right now as we're on this thing exactly what if those numbers are still out there. Yeah, KD's still plus 700. So I would expect that number to move. Luka's still favored at plus 480.
Jason Tatum as well.
Less sexy is most improved. Christian Wood is the heavy betting favorite on that right now, and he's going to get a lot less easy points now, I think. So if he falls off, then that opens up some improvement.
I think he'll still get. Christian Wood's always going to get numbers. I think Christian Wood's always going to be a guy that gets numbers. Like, he'll just wind up finishing. He'll just wind up finishing and getting boards and stuff like that. Embiid is right now at plus 1,000. That was who Zach Lowe said today was the MVP so far this season. All right. So that's actually going to wrap it up for the Action Network podcast and this insert special edition after the Rockets trade. Make sure to keep up with Action Network on Twitter and in our app. We'll have breaking analysis of this trade and whatever other moves come out of it. There's a lot of talk the Cavs may be doing something else very soon. We'll have all that information up to the second, betting lines, changes, everything you need to know on the markets. Make sure to keep it tuned to Action Network. We'll talk to you again next time on the Action Network podcast.